Voted Halifax's favorite gamer 15 years ago.
Oh,
There you go.
I see. Well then, we're live once
are we?
again
Are we?
for the 828th week.
I mean, we're all here. We might as well do it.
Yeah.
Says you.
They got nothing better to do.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
That's too bad.
No,
that makes me feel bad.
sorry, I didn't mean to depress everyone.
Yeah. I have lots of better things to do.
I finished my Atari, so
No, time to
That's
move on.
it.
To
That's
something
all you
else.
got.
Go buy another set.
yeah,
That's
maybe
how
I
it
will.
works.
Exactly. All right.
Got to feed the monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Hello and welcome to episode 828 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me as always from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Yellow.
How's it going there, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. Like I mentioned before we started broadcasting, finished the Lego Atari 2600 this morning.
And boy, are your fingers tired?
Boy, are my fingers sore.
Mm.
A lot of little pieces near the end there.
You need one of those neoprene gamer gloves.
Yep.
Will help you.
Gamer gloves. They don't make specific Lego gloves.
No, that would be ridiculous. You need a glove
See.
for gaming.
Oh, okay. To build the Atari Lego.
You do.
Okay.
This is the gamer connection, you understand.
I see.
This is
Well,
all
I know they make those little like orange wedges, which you
Yeah.
probably have right there sitting on.
I
your
actually had to
desk
use
there,
a couple
Phil.
times. I made a
I have
couple
one of
pretty
the
good
The
things.
blue.
I have one of the teal ones.
Why do you have a teal
Okay.
one?
Well, because they also come in teal.
No, but I mean,
Also come in teal.
what set did that come in?
I don't know. They come in a lot of this.
I've
the
only
teal
ever
ones.
seen orange.
Well,
But I buy
Too.
like 2 kits a year, maybe.
I think that might be your problem.
But they don't have
I
gloves
wouldn't-
that accomplish the same thing. Nobody sells Lego gloves.
I don't understand what you're saying. That
It's
device
not-
is used to remove pieces.
This is a brick separator.
Yeah, it's
I
not-
know, but to like
It's not to
get
protect your fingers in any way.
This is
It's,
for
okay.
disassembly, not assembly.
okay. So no gloves to protect your fingers.
No disassemble. To put it in language that you would understand.
Correct.
Yeah.
Johnny Five is alive. That was terrible. Anyway.
It was pretty good.
All right. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
That's me.
Hi there.
What's up?
How's it going?
you guys get fresh
Oh,
air now or what?
What?
You, how's
Got
the air
all the
quality
fresh
down
air.
there this
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
it's
we're-
good again.
We're breathing cool.
week? Yeah.
Breathing. Very cool.
It's all good. We've refreshed our air supply.
Just took a little Febreze.
We
Oh, you can't breathe that
inhaled
much in.
all those carcinogens into our throats, into our lungs, and expelled out clean
pure oxygen.
carbon dioxide.
That's how that works, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Human air filters. That's what we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
No,
work.
it's nice.
Good work,
It's nice
everybody.
now here.
It is.
It's cool, like mid 70s.
I don't know what that means.
Although I appreciate the little funky arm wave there for, there it is.
Yeah.
Like that.
There it is. Yeah. I don't know
CJ
why
going
your
back to his
career
B-boy days.
as a meteorologist never took off, because you have a gimmick.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
And it's working for me.
That's how it works. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
It's-
70s. Mid 70s.
Of course.
Hang on, I got to tune into the weather report in Seattle. Why? Oh, you'll see.
That's
Look
right.
out, folks,
That's
because
right.
the air is smoky.
I love that anyone who's listened to the audio version of this has no idea what's
We're
going
just waving our arms around like idiots.
Yeah, that's right. You get the
Don't think you're missing
you
anything.
get the idea. Right. Well, maybe we should talk about some video game news, because
Was there any?
there was some stuff that happened last week. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do
Good
tell.
stuff.
Do tell. Well, on the same day, we had a Nintendo Direct and a Sony State of Play. So right there,
How embarrassing.
they scheduled it on the same
know.
day. Oh,
Yep.
what a faux pas. Yes. But hey, we have
Mhm.
some announcements from both that we can talk about. We're gonna hit the high notes
Do we have any announcements from
Yes.
both that we can't talk about? I'm curious.
that we can't talk about.
You said we can talk about, but do we have some that we can't talk about?
Well, why don't you look at the list and go
No,
ahead
you-
and
yeah,
come
but
up
I'm
with
saying, are we under NDA of any for any of this stuff?
CJ vetted all
No.
these
Oh, did he? Okay.
with Nintendo and Sony.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big one, of course, is that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is now called The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom,
Yes.
and it is coming out on May 12th, 2023.
All I can say from that trailer is that Link has some pretty strong knees because, man, he landed that. He stuck that landing from that. I don't know where he jumped from above the clouds. That's all I know. And it did not look like he
landed
used any
right on
kind
that.
of, speed retardation at all as he was falling. So
Yeah,
he just landed.
right on that steel paper
Whatever it
airplane.
was. Steel paper
Whatever.
airplane. Yep.
They're gonna have to
Paper airplane of steel.
tack on some of those portal ankle
Yep.
braces to explain that away.
They were the
Some
magnet
Bengay
boots
to
that
rub on
helped
those
him. It
knees.
was the
Yeah.
magnet boots that helped.
The maggot boots?
Magnet.
Oh. Well, that's not that would make it worse. That would pull him
Yeah,
even
it probably
faster
would.
towards that thing
Yeah.
he landed on.
Well, the
What,
the camera
the
cut
thing he
away
landed
from
on
that right
magnetic?
after that, so you don't know. Maybe he died in that same fall.
maybe he did.
Oh
Maybe that's
my.
why the kingdom is crying.
And the
Tears of
whole
kingdom.
game, you're a ghost. That's the twist. We've
But you
spoiled
don't
the
know it.
twist.
And neither does he.
At the end of the game, you find out he's a ghost all this time.
Oh,
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Too
Heard
spooky
it
for
here.
me. I'll be passing on this one.
Larrabee Locke.
Yep.
yeah.
Your weapons degrade, and so does your hero.
Well, they were saying before that they had not revealed the subtitle because it would reveal too much about the plot. So, Tears of the Kingdom.
What is it?
What do we think the kingdom is crying about?
Zelda's dead.
You
The
think Zelda's dead?
queen, the
Yeah.
queen died.
Yeah.
Had they revealed?
Long live the king.
Have they revealed? Had they revealed the title?
That's
sooner?
why they didn't run it during the right after the.
Why they-
oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
They didn't
queen-
run it in the UK. They didn't do the live.
They didn't run.
stream.
They didn't reveal the title because they waited for real world events to catch up to the title of the new
Yep.
Zelda game. A little
Oh,
sick.
Now we just play the waiting game.
I was gonna say, remember when Acclaim got in trouble for trying to get people to put Shadow Man's name on their tombstone?
did they get in trouble
Yes.
for that?
Well, it was bad press, at the very least.
Is there such a thing as bad press, Greg?
Nintendo taking it to the next level. Yes, there's
Yes.
definitely such thing as bad press.
Oh.
I don't know.
But yeah, from the 17 seconds of new footage that we got, it looks
CJ sitting there with
Well,
a stopwatch.
looks pretty good. No, so here's the thing. Here's the thing.
17.72 seconds.
Here's the thing.
What have we learned, class?
CJ's going all in with the funky arm motions
It
today.
is. He's
Here's the.
Here's
thing.
the thing.
You're gonna turn your
Uh,
chair backwards and rap with us in a second here.
I am. It's true. My daughter very into Zelda at the moment. Very much into Breath of the Wild. She's finished it twice.
Oh,
I think she's been playing it multiple times, and we're very excited about it. So, having heard the rumors that this was going to be where we got some Zelda news,
mm-hmm.
I woke
She took the
my
day off
daughter
school.
up early.
Uh-huh.
It was a school day, so Nintendo Direct
didn't
at
wake her
7
up
a.m.
Go to school.
No,
No,
he routinely
no.
lets her go to school late, but he woke her up early for the Nintendo.
For the
Direct.
Nintendo
This
Direct,
is important.
absolutely.
This is important, dear.
This
Wake
is
up.
Important. Yeah.
That's right. So we woke up early
Mm-hmm.
to watch this Nintendo Direct because the rumors said it was going to be a big Zelda Direct. I'm looking at the clock as we tick by when they said it was going to be a 40-minute Direct at minute 38. I'm like, what is happening here? My daughter very bored with the Direct by this point. Anyway, so the Zelda stuff comes on. The trailer is about 40 seconds of just looking at hieroglyphs or little symbols, and then 30 seconds of Link doing his stuff.
Wait, where did
And
this
she was very
17
upset.
seconds come from?
She was very
He's
upset.
getting there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think. Are you getting there?
I'm not getting there. No,
Okay.
Okay.
That was
not getting there. It was an Wow. But yeah, she was very upset that she woke up early for
Well, you know
basically
what?
nothing
It's a
Zelda.
good life
And
lesson because she's got a good, I
this
don't
is a
know,
good life
she's got
lesson for
decades
future
of
Nintendo Directs.
Directs
They're
ahead of
going
her.
to be
So,
disappointing in the
yeah.
future, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, expectations are always too high. Learn
That's
to
right.
check them.
But then she was very upset that she has to wait until May for the new Zelda. It's like,
Just, you know what? Tell her to turn 40, and then time is so compressed that May will be like tomorrow.
I know, yeah, it'll certainly feel that way. Yeah. But anyway, she's very excited about it. As am I. I'm excited about more Breath of the Wild as well. But I wish we had gotten a bigger trailer than what they delivered here.
I wish we'd seen some kind of HUD so that we could make sure that there's no breakable weapons and no climbing meter anymore.
I don't think you're getting that.
Boo.
Not for a while, apparently. All right, we the whole thing kicked off with the announcement of a new Fire Emblem. So I'm sure you guys care about that.
And the crowd went wild.
Those games are amazing. They're great. They're not for me.
Fire
they're
Emblem
really good.
Engage.
Pretty much where I am with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want
coming
to
out January
like them.
20th.
And I've put a lot of hours into a few of them, especially the DS ones, 3DS, portable
3DS.
ones.
Yeah.
But just never liked them enough to see them right through to the end. I know former co-host Ethan Einhorn is crazy about the Fire Emblem games.
Loves Fire Emblem, yes.
Yeah.
So he will have a new one in January. Pikmin 4 revealed in this Nintendo Direct, of course, rumored many years ago from
Because
an
Nintendo
interview that
consists of things that people want to be true, and
Yeah.
Miyamoto acknowledged or said something about Pikmin 4 in an interview like 6 years ago. And now it's coming true. Pikmin 4 in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you're not already playing Pikmin Bloom, they advertised that as well.
Pikmin Bloom is mobile, right?
It's the mobile game, yeah. Yes, indeed. But I'm excited about Pikmin 4. I do enjoy me some Pikmin, and Pikmin 3, a fantastic game on the Wii U, and available on your Nintendo Switch.
Surprised that we didn't get it with some kind of announcement of like a Switch version of Pikmin 3, since
there is
there
a Switch version of
okay.
Pikmin 3.
Shows you how much I pay attention to
Pikmin 3 Deluxe is available on the Switch.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's on sale now, and I bought it just recently.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
And we need Pikmin 1 and 2
1 and 2
On-
are the ones that we don't
on
have.
Switch.
Yeah.
And
We
Nemeva
also-
in our chat actually said Pikmin is to me what Fire Emblem is to you guys. Want to like it, not for me. And I'll be honest, that's I do like Pikmin, but again, I've never liked it enough to see myself through an entire game.
I would have said the same thing before Pikmin 3, but Pikmin 3 sealed the deal for me.
They should put that on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could put that quote on the box. Pikmin 3 sealed the deal for me.
Sealed the deal.
Yep.
All right. Kirby Return to Dreamland remake. They're doing a remake of I think this is the Wii Kirby game. Return to
maybe?
Dreamland.
We're doing really well here, guys. This is top-notch stuff. Phil has wandered off staring at his game.
No, I
case.
was looking at it. Is the Wii game.
Okay.
It's the
I
Wii
was
game.
looking at it on my shelf over there.
Yes. So that is
Okay.
a thing that is happening
There
in
it is.
February.
Yes.
Good. Yep.
GoldenEye coming to Nintendo Switch Online and 64.
So you had it on. You said it's being added to Rare Replay.
Yeah, and then it's coming to Xbox as well. And if you own Rare Replay, you will get it
Cool.
as part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's also just coming to Xbox Game Pass in general.
So is this did they change the control? I didn't I'll be honest, I didn't watch the direct or the state of play because I don't know why. I didn't have time to watch them on the day of, because they were happening while I was working or while I was, taking someone to hockey or whatever.
Mhm.
And I just haven't gotten around to watching them. I did watch some of the trailers, but with GoldenEye,
They are modernizing the controls.
okay, cool.
Yes.
That makes me want to play it because I've never been a huge GoldenEye fan. I get why it was so popular.
Yeah.
But first-person shooters, especially, are one of those genres that you got to modernize a remake because it feels unplayable if it's single stick. So,
well,
okay,
the
cool.
version being added to NSO might just be the N64 ROM, right?
Yeah, well, I
don't know about modernizing the controls on that one.
Well, didn't they also add online multiplayer to it?
Well, NSO has online multiplayer built in.
Oh.
So
you just put the ROM right on NSO and it just works.
Yeah,
it just works. It works like an X-band.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lazy devs, right?
But the Xbox version will not have online multiplayer, apparently.
Right.
Which
good.
Makes no sense, but okay.
Good.
Yeah. Then there were a bunch of smaller announcements, I think, after the show. A lot of people, myself included, were a bit disappointed just by the number of farming games that were in the Direct and the number of JRPGs. If I was into JRPGs, this would have been a fantastic Direct.
Stardew Valley is playing right there on the giant screen next to me.
Yeah, not surprised.
So I should probably go through this Direct and show all those farming games to my daughter.
Yeah, a lot of
her time is literally split between Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, and Arceus, Pokemon Arceus.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all she plays.
I see. They announced that Radiant Silvergun is coming out on Switch, and apparently it was out for a couple hours and then got pulled from the eShop.
Really?
So right now it's not available, but it was there for a couple of hours before it got pulled.
Wasn't the rumor that they said that the data could corrupt your memory card or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
Is
really?
That's what I heard people talking about, although I don't know how true that is.
Okay.
So yeah, that sucks.
Well,
but
hopefully it'll be up again soon.
Yeah, exciting that it's happening because man, Radiant Silvergun's a good game. Like such a good game. So I'll definitely jump on that. Although I wasn't sure because I don't remember there ever being a Tate mode. And people who did download this confirmed that there isn't one, which makes sense. I mean, it was never an arcade game. It was always meant to be played on a 4.3. That doesn't necessarily mean they wouldn't have a Tate mode, just it's less likely. So,
sure.
Which also want to call out that there was a Kickstarter that just finished for a Switch screen stand called the Rotate, I guess you could call it, which is literally just it's a stand that's meant, I don't know if you can rotate it or if it's just like for vertical orientation for shooters and stuff, which I ended up backing. It looks really cool.
That's cool. Huh.
But I won't be playing Radiant Silvergun on it. Anyway,
until they release
that's all
it.
I was going to say.
Anyway. Yeah, but anyway, what was not in this Direct were the Zelda remaster rumors. So like the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess that were rumored up to the Direct didn't happen. And Metroid
Princess.
Prime remaster also did not happen.
Twilight Princess. So worst Zelda going to be on the most consoles.
I don't know about the worst. I don't think
it's
it's the worst.
One of the not best. How's that?
Okay, one of the not best. I finished it again. So I finished it on the Wii, and then I finished it again on the Wii U. So, yeah. And I had already finished Wind Waker on the Wii U as well. But I wouldn't mind having Wind Waker on the Switch.
Wind Waker's a fantastic game.
Wind Waker is awesome.
Yeah. And I didn't replay it when it came out on the Wii U. So I'm definitely, I think if it comes out on Switch, I'll be picking that up and playing it because it's been 20 years. I don't know, when did Wind Waker come out? Early 2000s.
2003?
Anyway. Yeah. So it's been 20 years. I'm ready to play that game again for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, me
and
too. I think my daughter would really like it.
It'll be even prettier now. So yeah, she probably would really like it.
Yeah.
My daughter might like it too, actually. She might see if she'll play that.
Yeah, but I thought it was a good Direct overall. I think in the moment, it just had so much stuff that wasn't what the rumors were. So it seemed a little underwhelming. But then when you look at the number of Nintendo games that got announced, Tears of the Kingdom date, new Fire Emblem, Pikmin 4, a new Kirby, GoldenEye, like it's not a terrible Direct. So that's all I'm saying. Not a terrible
Back of the box quote. Not a terrible Direct. I've watched worse.
I've watched worse. And then Sony had their State of Play. which had a bunch of stuff from PSVR 2. We got an announcement of Demio. Demio is a sort of tabletop RPG that you can play with friends. And it's been out on the Quest 2. It's out on Steam. And I think you can play it in both 2D and VR. So even if you're playing with people who don't have VR, you can do it. Looks really good. It's a very popular title on Quest 2, so I'm sure it'll be good. And we also got Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition.
So what is Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge?
Phil, you have this game, don't you, on the Quest?
I have it on Quest. I haven't really played it though yet.
Okay.
But it's a little, 3D action adventure-y game. It's set in the theme park, I guess.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. Yeah,
because Galaxy's
Right.
Edge is the Disney theme park land.
Right.
So it's in that sort of
I'll be there in 6 months.
universe, that little corner of canon.
Okay.
So I have not played. I have nothing to say. I have
So
not
you
played
what?
it.
You go stand in line for 4 hours to get on
Yes.
the Millennium Falcon? That's the experience.
And it'll be just like being there in VR.
You
Nice.
you stand in line, and then you put your credit card in, and it charges $200, and you get a lightsaber.
Yep.
You don't get blue milk?
That's
Well, no, because it's never in stock.
Extra.
that's another
damn.
$15 for
Damn.
for a bottle of blue milk. But
I see. Oh,
Disappointing, but not surprising at this point that PSVR 2 will not be backwards compatible with.
that breaks
okay.
my
Well,
heart.
that wasn't during the state of play, but,
I know, but we're talking
yes,
about
we-
PSVR now. Why not?
we're talking about PSVR 2.
You
Yes.
skip right past everything else, right to the VR stuff. So
Sorry. They revealed during a PlayStation blogcast podcast that PSVR 2 will not be
Mouthful.
compatible with PSVR 1 games.
Yep.
So you've been holding out hope, like I have, that you'd be able to play Astro's what? Which one is this?
Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Mission. That's right. Okay.
Although, see, it's too bad. I mean, because I originally had thought that it was a foregone conclusion that it would be backwards compatible, until people started pointing out that that probably wouldn't be the case. But
Because you need the camera and the field of view
Right.
is different, and there's
right, but I always
So there's
thought
stuff.
that. Well, I always thought that it would be, possible to. I guess it depends on how the motion is read, and how it's translated to the games, right? Each game, but it's too bad because stuff like Astrobot, there's nothing special about the way it's just tracking motion. It's just tracking height and motion of the VR headset itself and nothing else. Otherwise, it's just played with a standard controller. So,
Yeah.
stuff like it's really a shame that stuff like that is going to be victim to the fact that there's no backwards compatibility. That being said, I would not be surprised if Sony releases a PSVR 2 version of it. I'd love
I
to see
hope
them
they
release a
do.
sequel. I really want them to announce a sequel, but
yeah.
yeah.
I would love to see it. Either a sequel or remake. That'd be fantastic. I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
But yeah, other things in the state of play, or do you have something you want to say?
No,
about
I'm good.
VR?
That's it. I just since
Okay.
we were talking about it,
Alrighty. Like a Dragon Ishin
that looks really cool.
is
Yeah.
out February 2023. This was
They-
a previously Japan only version of Yakuza that is being remastered. And
Okay, so this is the remaster. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because when I saw the trailer for it, I was thinking like, didn't they do this before? So I wasn't sure if this was a totally
did.
new thing, or if so this is a remaster. Fantastic. It looks so cool. It's
It does. It's like
in what year we're
historical
talking about?
Japan, like
The
some
end of
other
the Age of the Samurai, basically.
Yeah. Another
Yeah.
era. Yeah. So that looks fantastic. We got another look at Hogwarts Legacy and the PlayStation exclusive Quest there.
Yeah, I can't
You
get
guys
into that.
Not into that? Okay.
No, I want to be, but
Yeah.
I can't.
None of that on my turf.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow. You went there. All right. And
You
the
brought it up.
the other big thing here
Bad pun.
is the God of War
It's a good pun.
Ragnarok story trailer that they revealed. And they also did a trailer for a controller, special edition controller.
So Ragnarok. Did any of us play through the last God of Boy?
I couldn't
Dad of
because
Boy?
it gave me motion
Motion
sickness.
sickness. Right.
Although I want to try it again and change some of the settings.
I was excited to see scenes where he was fighting with his chain swords.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I
apparently that does happen in the first one too.
I was going to say
later.
I didn't play deep enough into the first one to find out if that happens. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I was.
think it
That's what I was
does.
going to ask.
Yeah,
but-
I'm
I
pretty
didn't
sure
get
it
that
does.
far into it.
Yeah, that game just didn't do anything for me at all.
That's
A
I've,
lot of people love it though.
I've talked about this before,
A
but
lot of people
I've had
love
that
it.
problem with every God of War.
Really,
Yeah.
see, I adored that series.
Yeah.
From the first one right through to 3.
Yeah.
And I think there was another one mixed in there somewhere. But
PSP version.
yeah, I
Beating
just
Yeah.
they were man, from start
Yeah.
to finish. I turned them on and I just play right through them.
And I mean,
Mhm.
it's not like I didn't like them.
Yeah.
I recognize that they're great games. I understand why people love them, but something about them just doesn't click with me.
See Luke
See,
Lore in the chat saying God of War 2018 is the best game ever made.
And you know
a
what?
lot
A
of
lot
people have
feel
that
that
opinion.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not wrong. It just there's
Not
something
wrong.
about that game that did nothing for me. And I say that as a big God of War fan.
Yeah.
But it just I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for that game at the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it just I bounced off that within like 5 hours.
That's about how long I played.
I
into
think if it
actually,
didn't give me motion sickness, I would have played it more. But you
Yeah.
know, when a game makes you nauseous, like physically ill, it's hard to like it and want to play more of it.
I should fire it up again and just see if it sits this time.
Yeah,
Since the sequel's coming out. And it is a good game. And
it's a good game.
everybody can't be wrong. Too many people
Only
love
when it's Red Dead Redemption 2.
well, yeah, it's
they're
true.
wrong.
But too many
Mm.
people just love that game. Like it's, they don't just like it. It's like what Luke is saying. There's like best game ever made. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I missed something somehow.
Mm.
Oh, Bill
Indeed.
Mudron though. He apparently did not like it.
There you go. And then hey, Tokyo Game Show happened last week as well, towards the end of the week and over the weekend. So a couple announcements there of interest. I'm only really going to point out one, which is Suikoden 1 and 2 remasters are in the works. And I thought Greg, you would be most interested in
Yes.
that.
Oh my god, so interested. I'm
And
just
it-
like just out of the blue that they announced this, and just the music in the trailer immediately just teleported me back to the mid '90s.
Mm.
God, I love the first Suikoden especially. I know Suikoden 2 is probably the better game, but I just have so many fond memories of the first game.
Yeah. Well, and they seem to be going kind of in a HD 2D
In some
style
scenes,
with this in some respect.
yeah, because a lot of it they showed just looked like the old scenes. A lot of the backgrounds have been redone. Because if I remember correctly, in that game, in the battles, you were in like all the characters were sprites. Excuse me, but the terrain you were on was 3D, and I want to say it didn't cover the whole screen, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I played it. But yeah, it just looks really high res, and that's fine. Although the teaser image that they had on the trailer that I watched, it did look like it was doing that HD 2D thing, which would also be fine. I love that look.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm so excited that it's coming out, and I hope that people give it a chance, because that the first one in particular, Suikoden, there was this really, I thought, wonderful era of Japanese RPGs pre Final Fantasy VII. Not the Final Fantasy VII ruined them or anything like that, but between the launch of the PlayStation and Final Fantasy VII hitting, there was just this really great run of Japanese RPGs from a lot of different companies that just felt like, an extension of what we'd been playing on like the Genesis and Super Nintendo, but with a lot more color and Red Book audio and, smattering of 3D graphics in here and there. And it felt like a lot of them flew under the radar, unless you were already like a big fan of those games on the previous consoles.
Yep.
So anytime any of them being remastered, I'm all in. But Suikoden is definitely one of my favorites. Like Konami in particular, the Suikoden and Vandal Hearts series, both of them, I just adored those games. So excited that they're going to be re-releasing these.
Yeah, it's looking good. Xbox also did a little presentation for TGS, and the major announcement there is that Deathloop is coming to Xbox this week. Deathloop, of course, Bethesda game that was previously PlayStation 5 exclusive, or it may have been PlayStation 4 as well, but it was PlayStation exclusive. That's the important part. And so now that exclusivity period is up, and it's coming out this week.
Bethesda?
Well, now that Xbox owns Bethesda, but that deal was signed before that,
right?
The Deathloop deal.
Our old friend Joe Fielder worked on that game.
Oh yeah,
he did a lot of the
He was a
writing
writer.
in
nice.
Deathloop. So I'm looking forward to playing that. I didn't pick it up on PS5 mainly because I thought it would. If it's like any of the other Arcane games, it might give me motion sickness because that's just a thing that happens with me in first-person games. So. But I will check it out on Xbox Game Pass because I'm already subscribed. If it makes me ill, I can just stop playing. It's that easy. Anyway. Oh my gosh, we still have more news here. So we got some more Genesis games for the NSO expansion pass. That is Alicia Dragoon, Earthworm Jim, and Beyond Oasis.
Now, I know Phil won't agree with me on this.
What's that?
Because he doesn't like Earthworm Jim, but 3 very good games. Earthworm Jim.
Well, Earthworm Jim
take
has
it or leave
a
it
good,
if you don't like Euro platformers.
a good couple levels, and then it kind of goes down.
Yeah, see, I would disagree with that, but I really enjoyed Earthworm Jim. But either way, Earthworm Jim, I think is a great game. Not everyone's cup of tea for sure. Alicia Dragoon, fantastic game. Game Arts was a Game Arts game.
Yeah.
With Studio Gainax, I think, was the one that did all the character design.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Gainax was involved in that. They're credited right at the beginning of the game.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And
Gainax
and Beyond
of course,
Oasis.
the Evangelion
Yes.
studio. Yeah.
Yeah, I said Studio Gainax. I don't know how you actually say their name, but and Beyond Oasis, again, fantastic sort of Zelda overhead adventure, Zelda-like game from Yuzo Koshiro's studio, Ancient.
Yeah.
All really good games. And even if you say Earthworm Jim isn't good, 2 really great games. So either way, nice drop.
True.
It's a nice drop. And it's digging deep. Although I will say, I think all that stuff has appeared on different compilations and like the Mega Drive Mini in the last 3 years. But
oh, for sure. Yeah.
But either way, still really good stuff.
Yeah. So Splatoon 3, crazy popular in Japan, has sold 3.45 million units
One of the
during
fastest
its
selling games.
opening
Yes, it is.
weekends, becoming the fastest selling game in Japan ever. That's pretty
Cool.
big.
Ever's a long time.
Ever is a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy for Nintendo.
How's it doing here?
I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out in some investor call whenever the quarter's up. Yeah, we'll find out. But you know who's not doing well? Rockstar Games, who today is suffering like a huge GTA 6 leak.
Yeah, the people who
yeah.
leaked it claimed they had the source code.
The leaker claims they have the source code and could release like a test build.
That
And
makes you an asshole.
looking to get in touch with people from Rockstar to
To extort them.
negotiate a deal.
To extort them.
To
Yeah.
extort them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Blackmail.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
What this is about.
I need to get a hold of someone at Rockstar so that I might blackmail them.
That's right.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not cool.
That's incredibly not cool.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, knock
but,
it off.
Yeah.
There we
But
go.
a lot of the
I solved it.
rumored details about GTA 6 are confirmed by the leak.
So, what have we learned? So we've learned that it's in Vice City
Vice City,
and that it's apparently dual protagonist,
dual protagonist.
male
One
and
is
female.
female. Yeah,
That's all I've really followed.
Hmm.
That's
That's
all I've
it.
really heard.
that's
Okay.
the leak.
So a lot of stuff was three things. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, it sucks that that's happening.
Yeah.
Nice to hear some new information. Unfortunately, not through official channels. And I know for the developers, I mean, we've all worked in game development. Outside of the whole blackmailing them for the source code thing, you don't want unfinished footage of your game out there.
No,
When it hasn't been packaged up properly by like PR and everything. Like it's just because because a lot of people don't understand that, you know, an alpha build of something is not even remotely close to being done.
Right.
Nothing's
Right.
going to work. Nothing's going to potentially nothing's going to look the way it's supposed to look or act the way it's supposed to act. So yeah, that sucks for them, man. I feel bad for, and you can imagine how long the developers have been working on this and the amount of hours that have probably been poured into it, and to have it released to the world in such a way, just that sucks, man.
it does. Yeah, Rockstar's been working overtime all weekend trying to like pull down the videos from YouTube. But you know, once things are on the internet, they're going to get
You're not going to stop them
circulated. So yeah, especially with something as big as GTA 6.
Right.
I am excited at the prospect of a GTA 6. I really did like GTA 5 a lot before it became GTA Online. I do worry that they've been so successful with GTA Online that it's going to invade GTA 6 proper. You know what I mean?
In what way? You worried about microtransactions?
I don't know what way, but I'm worried about. I mean, because it's interesting because earlier today, my son actually fired up Forza Horizon 4, and we were just having a chat about it. And like I said, like I didn't really like this game very much. And he was like, "Really?" Because like I thought you really loved this series, and I was like, "I did." And then 4 happened, and it felt like a premium game with free to play design that just turned me off completely. So I kind of worry, you know, and I don't know exactly how it would invade the story mode in GTA 6, but the fact that they've been so successful with GTA Online, I worry that that mentality or that design philosophy will invade the story mode in GTA 6. Because the GTA games, I play them for the, you know, I've always played them. I mean, they mostly always been for the single player story mode, right?
Yeah.
And if I need to navigate my way around a bunch of free to play style crap to do that, I'm not gonna. I'll be out fast.
I have to imagine that. I mean, GTA Online is still doing gangbusters for them, right? Like, I have to assume that'll still be its own separate thing.
I hope it is.
GTA 6 will be something new, but yeah, we'll see.
But I'm excited about the prospect of it. I really, it's been way too. I haven't played a GTA since 5, and because of how successful online has been, it's been. When did 5 come out? It was 2 generations ago, wasn't it?
You haven't played a GTA since 5.
Since 5. That's the last one.
So you're gonna dive right in with 6 after all this time.
But you know what I'm saying? How long it's been? Is my point.
I think 2012 is when that came out, or maybe it was 2013, but it came out prior to the new consoles coming out.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's. I think it was 2 generations ago that 5 came out.
Yeah, it was
the leak.
13. It's been 10 years.
Yeah. Well, they started developing GTA 6 apparently in 2014.
They confirmed something about GTA 6 that I was concerned about. So now I don't think I'm going to bother playing it. I was hoping that it was secretly Bully 2, and apparently it is not.
Yeah.
So
maybe they'll make one of those someday.
Don't be silly. Come on.
Sure they will. On an infinite time scale, they will definitely make it. You've heard it here first.
Well, I don't have an
2028
infinite
is your
time
year.
scale.
Is your year.
Man,
2028.
oh man.
Yeah, 2028. We're not going to be alive in 2028.
Probably not. All right. Let's talk about what we've been playing. And Greg, go first.
Yeah, okay.
You do it.
So I still been working my way through Cowabunga Collection.
Nay.
I played through. I mentioned last week, I think, that I had played through Manhattan Project, so Turtles 3 on NES, and I played through Turtles 3 on Game Boy this week, Radical Rescue. I'm glad I did it because it's so different from the games that were leading up to that point, and I think I did talk about this last week as well. But man, if I had been playing that game back when it was new on original hardware, by about the halfway point, I would have been ready to throw my Game Boy out of a 15th story window. Like it just like the game. It's a great premise where you're rescuing all the brothers. They all have slightly different abilities. Like, you start with Michelangelo, and he can use his nunchuck to like helicopter so that he falls. He takes longer to fall, and he can go further distances in his jumps. Leonardo can use his katana to dig through soft blocks, like you use a katana for. Raphael can, I guess, get into his shell. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he can fit through small areas. It's really hard to tell what he's doing from the sprite. Yeah. And Donatello can climb because, again, he's got a bow staff, so that makes it easy to climb sheer walls. It doesn't make any sense, but it is fun that they all have different abilities that you can swap out. But man, oh man, not only is the map confusing, but as you get further into the game, the difficulty ratchets up like you would not believe. To the point that when it all culminates in a boss rush, and you can get it's a little confusing when you first see it. So every now and then in the world, you'll see a full pizza icon, but when you pick it up, it doesn't refill your health. It goes into this little items inventory slot on the bottom right of the screen. But what it is it's basically an extra life. So if the turtle you're using dies, if you've got one of these pizzas, his life bar will refill and you get to carry on. If you come across an icon that's a slice of pizza, that refills part of your life in that moment when you pick it up. So that's great. I love that. Although you don't get to choose when to use it. It's only used when your life bar goes to 0. But you can't stock them. You can only ever have one. And so you get to the boss rush at the end. And you can have one pizza and that's it. And I was liberally using the rewind function. But I can imagine if I was a kid now, I probably would have been a little more resilient. I would have been a little more patient.
Oh yeah.
But it's a little ridiculous. So it kind of falls apart. And a friend of the show, Blair Farrell, actually tweeted this, and I agreed wholeheartedly. It would have been, or not. I think it would have been weird to expect like Digital Eclipse to do something like this, but it would be really neat to have somebody like a UX designer go in and just make a few tweaks to that game, because it's like one or two little tweaks from being like just a classic, I feel anyway. But it's boy, does it ever just sort of devolve into, okay, it feels like they just had to keep cranking up the difficulty because the game was sort of, as you're getting near the end of the game, and it was kind of starting to lag a little bit, but overall still a very cool experience. But I'm glad I had the rewind function. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, man, it was rough. But yeah, so now I'm trying to play Tournament Fighters, but people were on our Discord saying those are actually really good games, and I have not. That's not my experience so far, but I'm gonna jump into them. eventually. Yeah, those last boss fights are hard. The other thing that just came out, speaking of 10 years, speaking of a 10-year development cycle, the Two Guys Space Venture came out this week.
Yeah, so I heard.
So the Two Guys Space Venture is
the two guys from Andromeda.
The two guys from Andromeda who made they weren't the only ones who worked on them, but they were I think the writers and designers of the Space Quest games for Sierra Online. So the mid 80s to early 90s Space Quest games.
Classic games.
They were great games.
Yes.
Especially as you got into the 90s and you got into like 4 and 5 and 6, I think it was. They were like playing a cartoon. They were hilarious. The writing was amazing.
Yep.
So back when I want to say that they were on sort of the coattails of the Double Fine adventure.
Absolutely.
Right. So when the Double Fine adventure hit Kickstarter, 10, 11 years ago, however long that was, all these old game creators came out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Especially because Tim Schafer had kind of proven that there was actually an appetite for adventure games. So a lot of these old adventure game creators came out of the woodwork. And the two guys from Andromeda, I think it was both of them, came out and wanted to do a spiritual successor to Space Quest, the Space Quest games. So of course I backed that. And boy, it has been an epic journey. They asked for a ridiculously small amount of money. I think it was less. I don't know exactly what it was. I want to say it was less than $200,000.
Oh,
which is not a lot to make a video game.
No.
And then it was just a protracted development process, almost as long as the story's feeling. And
almost.
They were beset by like health issues, and they went quiet for months and months at a time. So anyway, out of the blue, in the last few weeks, it's like it's happening. We're releasing the game. It's finally done. I've only played about an hour of it. It's really not well done. It's pretty disappointing overall.
I was reading a lot of just like it's functionally broken. Just like crashes and things don't work. And
I haven't seen any crashes, but it's there's.
And don't they include like a step-by-step walkthrough?
They
with
include
the
a
game?
step-by-step walkthrough.
And I also heard, and I was reading people saying that like when they were following the instructions, I think it was like Frank Cifaldi
really went into
Chris
it,
Kohler.
Yeah,
were saying like just following the instructions in the walkthrough that they provided. Like you can't do some of those things, or doing some of those things causes the game to hard lock on you.
See, I haven't seen that yet, but I can see what they're. I heard. I think Frank mentioned a few soft locks.
Okay.
Which I would believe, but like as an example, like it desperately. Speaking of alphas, it feels like an alpha. It really does. Like the writing's all there. Like the sound mix is terrible. You can't hear what the main character's saying half the time.
Oh.
But like, so.
But you know what? Chris Nolan does it, and everyone's like, "Ooh, what a genius!"
That's fair. Like the opening scene, you're having this conversation. There's a little puzzle to open an airlock, and you're having this conversation with a guy through this airlock door, and you finally get you get the airlock open. There's no context for it at all. It's just like open the airlock, and like, okay, like I don't know how to start this. Like, I don't know the context of this at all. Get the airlock open, and they have this conversation. And at one point, your main character, who is super wordy, is saying something about how you're there to fix the life support system. And he's like, "Oh, is your cafeteria still open?" And the character you're talking to starts to make a very cartoonish motion where he like sort of does a side glance and he lifts a leg and then he walks away in the middle of what you're saying. So the joke is clearly supposed to be that he slinks away while your main character is talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not timed right at all. It's like a 5-line bit of dialogue. The guy slinks off in the first 3 words, but the character keeps delivering like the comic timing is completely wrong, right? Which I know that seems like a small thing to complain about, but that's kind of the bread and butter of these games. Comedy is the bread and butter of this series, of the Space Quest series, right?
And you know what the most important thing in comedy is?
Timing.
No, bread and butter.
It's good. Phil's doing some timing.
And
anyway,
action.
Timing.
Even past all that, there's a ton of technical issues as well.
DJ like that.
Yeah.
There's a ton of technical issues as well. Even as simple as like animation blending. Like the characters are constantly snapping into different poses and it's not good. And again, there's like I know you can say, well, it's a throwback to old Sierra games to sort of leave you in the lurch and not tell you what's going on. So like the first couple of screens, you get out of that door and then you're in a hallway. There's only one place to go. You walk in to this like conduit and there's a janitor's cart that you can click on. It's like, okay, cool. And there's like 3 bottles of window cleaner, 9 rolls of toilet paper, and something, it's not clear what it is, sitting on this tray. And if you hover over it, there's a little yellow glow behind your icon, which is what the game uses to tell you this is something you can interact with. I don't know if you hover over it, no matter what icon you're using, whether it glows or if it's just the proper icon, but it's a hand icon. So your first thought, my first thought was, I'm going to pick one of these up. That's probably what these are there for. So you click on it and nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing is happening. What's going on?
You just don't know how to use the 3 seashells.
Right, exactly. So I'm like, okay. And I clicked on something that triggered the dialogue that he says, if you were to leave the screen and come back. I hadn't left the screen, but I did some button combination that triggered that dialogue. And it said, oh, nice of them to reset or reorganize reset the way these items were organized for me when I come back, or something like that. That was the hint that this is actually some kind of puzzle where you're moving things around. But again, it's never clear that that's the case. It's never clear that you're moving things rather than picking them up. And again, they're toilet paper rolls. Why can't I just pick them up? Like there's no reason they're locked to this tray. And the whole idea is that you need to move these toilet paper rolls around so that you can move this red thing that I'm still not sure what it is. And there's a key card hidden underneath, but there's no hints at all. And you can say that that's a throwback to what these old Sierra games, because the Sierra, especially the ones in the mid 80s, were notoriously cheap.
Yeah.
Like you could die for nothing. And
if you didn't save, too bad.
And you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
I get that. Maybe that's what they were trying to, sort of stir nostalgia for that. But we've come a long way in 40 years. And even in a Sierra game from back then, normally, if it was something you had to slide around, at the very least, you'd be given the context of, this isn't something you can easily pick up. It's not something that weighs a couple ounces. It's something that's too heavy for you to pick up, or it's attached to something. So, it would be at least clear that I can't remove this. I need to move it. And there usually be some sort of dialogue saying like, it looks like I can move that, or just something simple. Nothing, just nothing at all. So like I found myself referring to their little walkthrough inside the first 2 minutes.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's really, man, it's too bad. What they really needed to do, this is, hindsight from a decade ago. They needed to ask for more money, obviously. Yeah. But what they needed to do was get enough money that they could contract a developer because clearly it seems clear to me that this was either built by a team that doesn't have a lot of contemporary experience, or it all fell on the shoulders of one or two people, and it just wasn't realistic to believe that they could get this done. And it clearly needed a massive QA pass. I feel like the QA team was probably one or two people as well, and they might have had one run at it. So all in all, it's it's not.
That's unfortunate.
It's really unfortunate, especially when you consider the heights that the Space Quest series reached with 5 and 6, because they were exceptional games in that genre. I think Phil would agree with that.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a shame. It's a real shame. I mean, glad it finally came out, but it's a shame how it turned out. But I'm not surprised either. And the other thing I wanted to touch on, and actually somebody in the chat mentioned Advance Wars earlier, because that was one of the things that wasn't on the Nintendo Direct. We still don't have a new release date for Advance Wars, which is too bad, because Reboot Camp, because Advance Wars is so great. But I have been playing Wargroove on Twitch, and that it is Advance Wars. I mean, it's like a carbon copy of Advance Wars. So that's all that reminded me of it. I don't have a whole lot to say about it right now because I'm only a couple hours in, except to say that it's pretty much Advance Wars. There's actually a few features that I don't think Advance Wars had, or they're done a little bit differently. Excuse me, as far as capturing settlements and using them to heal and things like that. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've played an Advance Wars game, but overall, it's just it's got that same sort of rock paper scissors for your units. Your commander is super strong, and they can build up a special ability that you can use at your leisure. And yeah, oh man, I'm really enjoying it a lot. I'm so glad. Scoop Joey actually requested the game, and he's got so many requests based on the generous donations that he's made that I think we might have enough to actually get through it.
Oh.
And I'm really, really enjoying it so far. So if you're jonesing for Advance Wars, and like the rest of us don't know when Reboot Camp is coming out, and you haven't tried Wargroove, that might be a good fix for you. But it's not a dance game or anything. Sorry, CJ. The name leads you to believe that it's some kind of music game, but
I've played Wargroove.
No.
Oh wow.
I just know you like
You
music
offended
games, that's all.
CJ.
I do. Does it have twee graphics? No.
What's twee?
Well, let's see what
Exactly.
games on CJ's list this week. I bet there's at least one.
No, that was last week. That was last week with the twee games.
I don't know. Bear and Breakfast
Oh,
looks
damn.
pretty
Okay.
twee.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done.
All right, Phil.
I mean, the title alone is pretty twee.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't deny that.
Yeah.
So what have I been playing, dear friends? Well, I'll throw this in real quick. I played a little more of the Multiverses, and I got my Gizmo.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
I forgot about that.
I got my Gizmo, which is really fun. Playing as Gizmo, he's got his little bow and arrow that he can shoot. He
Nice.
sings. He has little music notes fly out of him because Gizmo's a little musical critter.
It's true. Like
And he has
Jigglypuff.
Exactly.
That's probably where they got the idea.
I can't imagine where else.
Yeah.
And one of his moves is he jumps into the little Barbie car, and you can drive around on the stage, which seems a little broken.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if maybe the people against whom I was playing just didn't know how to counter it or to knock me out of the car consistently. But yeah, you hop in the car and you can just drive back and forth, just bouncing people around all over the place. It's great fun. So I'm very happy to have Gizmo in my little Smash fighting game. So It's not a
Nice.
bad game. It's cute.
No,
Yeah, it's a fun little game.
and free to play.
I've played a little more Splatoon. And I know you've been playing that as well,
Splatoon
CJ.
3. I have.
I played some Splatoon. I got my Nintendo gun, my little NES Zapper,
Yep.
which I earned the legit way, getting up to level 6.
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe when we chatted last week, I was very close to doing anyway.
Yeah.
But I did use, because I have some of those golden tickets
Mm-hmm.
to exchange for weapons. So I used one of those to get one of the higher level weapons that, would take me a long time. And let's face it, I will never level up my character to like level 30 or whatever it is you have to get to in order to get.
I stopped playing Splatoon 2 at level 36.
Oh my.
That was after 120 hours,
Ooh.
I think is what.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to play that much.
I don't know if the leveling, is going to be the same, because you can level up in everything now, like any mode that you play, including Salmon Run, or ranked, levels you up.
Right.
So,
but still, I'm not going to play that game that much. I
unlocked play 120 hours.
No, I most certainly am not.
Have you played 120 hours of anything, Phil?
Rogue Legacy.
Rogue Legacy.
Rogue Legacy.
The original Rogue Legacy.
The original Rogue
Probably
Legacy. Yes, I have not played that much Rogue Legacy 2 yet,
but I'm sure you will.
But yeah, I'm sure, given enough time. But yes, the last game I've topped 100 hours in was certainly Rogue Legacy 1.
Okay.
And honestly, before that, I don't know. Although, you know what?
Breath of the Wild, Animal Crossing.
Oh, absolutely not Breath of the Wild.
No, okay.
I didn't even finish Breath of the Wild.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Who could blame you?
I mean,
my gosh. Okay.
I mean, look, Phil not liking breakable weapons ain't no joke. That's not a bit I'm doing.
Wow. Okay.
That's a way to make me stop playing your game. You know what though? I say the 100-hour thing, but I'd have to check Animal Crossing. I'd have to check Animal Crossing, and honestly, as games I've played for work, I've probably
you probably have
put in over 100 hours on those too. Now that I think about it, but Splatoon, I'm not going to put. That's nothing against Splatoon. Splatoon is great. We all know it's great. It's apparently selling quite well from what I've heard. But I will not be putting 100 plus hours in to get up to the level needed to earn the ballpoint pen weapon, which is the one I got. It's like a minigun, but it's a big ballpoint pen.
Okay.
So
now, what modes are you playing in Splatoon 3? Because you're not really a big multiplayer gamer either. Are you doing single player? Are you doing Salmon Run? What are you dipping your toes into?
I was doing one more time.
What are you dipping your toes into?
Oh, I played a bit of the single player mode, but mostly just the turf wars, the standard, the standard little multiplayer turf war mode.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I messed around. I got the locker. I started decorating my locker. Okay. Very exciting.
I got my locker upgraded.
Oh, did you now?
I hit level 15.
Oh, is that when you get your locker upgraded?
That is when they upgrade the locker and they make it bigger.
Yeah. I see. I have seen some of those. I will probably never get the upgraded locker then.
Okay.
So
I've mainly been playing Turf War as well.
Oh, really?
But I have dipped my fins or tentacles. Is that right?
Wow.
Your what?
Into Salmon Run.
Your what?
Because I'm a squid.
Oh, tentacles.
Right? Tentacles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Makes more sense.
Yeah. Into Salmon Run, and that was good fun. I got to play against one of the boss characters in there that shows up, the Kokozuna.
Okay.
It shows up. It's like a huge kaiju style boss that you have to collect eggs from normal bosses and throw them at the Kohozuna.
You
Say
got
that
it
again.
Kohozuna.
There you go.
I see. So you steal bosses' eggs?
Yeah.
Are these unfertilized eggs?
Yeah.
Because these are all like sea creatures, right?
These are salmonids. Yeah.
Okay, so you're stealing salmon eggs.
If you read into it, it's actually a pretty dark. Yeah, you're stealing salmon eggs.
Okay.
For an unknown purpose for Grizzco. They're going to do something with those eggs. It's an energy source, apparently. But yes.
Well, so it's
stealing-
like caviar,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Because that's what caviar is. I don't know if you knew that.
I do know.
That's just a fancy word for fish eggs, man.
Yeah,
People eat that. Put it on crackers.
not me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was playing a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But then I was also playing some more of The Last of Us Part 1, which I
Excellent.
don't see on either of you guys' outlines. Did you guys all give up on?
I
I
am
have
playing
not-
Ninja Turtles.
I see.
I've not given up on it, but
Wow,
And I
that's
wanna go
a
back to
ringing
it.
endorsement.
but you see,
I
a
don't
new
hate
season,
it.
a season of Fortnite just started, and I
See,
really,
CJ, this is the problem with getting into all these service games.
I know, right?
Is that you don't
Travel.
have time for anything else.
That's true.
You
'Cause
got the
of FOMO.
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 Yep.
Even
Yep.
Splatoon 3. Now I think my catalog, I'm up to like level 25, 26 in the catalog
You hear
already.
this?
Yeah.
He's
the
concerned
battle
about his
pass.
catalog number.
That's right.
See,
Very
Yep.
concerned about it.
Too
we
busy.
were worried about you when you got into Sea of Thieves, but it seemed like you were sticking with that.
Yep.
I still
and
play
was
that
okay.
too.
It was even endearing.
Yep.
Now it's got
And now
no
you're
hand.
you're just
Too many service
chasing those bars you got to fill up.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about. Filling up those levels, completing those season passes.
That's right.
Listen,
Yeah.
man, are you playing the game
There's the game playing you, man.
Wow.
or is the game playing you?
That's tough
Man.
talk. Tough
Yeah.
talk.
Listen, CJ.
Yeah.
I won't have to do this.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
It's not the
painful.
kind of chair
Oh,
you can
God.
do that on.
Phil,
Oh,
Phil, you're
God.
not old enough to do what you just did.
go.
You're too old to do.
Oh,
We
Oh,
gotta have this conversation quick
Oh,
'cause it
God.
starts to feel bad.
are there? What are you crushing,
CJ.
Phil? Are you crushing
What?
anything?
What? Oh my god!
Turning as red as your hair.
Call an ambulance.
It's okay. I'll turn off your camera while you readjust.
wife.
God, it's grabbed both of them.
Oh my god! I can't.
Just hanging on for dear life.
Oh, there we go.
Ah.
Oh,
Too
Oh,
old for
things
we're too old
shift,
for
Phil,
that.
you're way too old and fat to do what you just did.
oh.
Hmm.
Hey, I've been working out. Okay.
Yeah? What were you
Yeah.
working out?
Huh?
What were you working out?
I'll show you later.
Tune in for the after show.
Well,
If you're a
Oh,
We
Patreon,
play
friend, there's
games, we
$5
crack
tier.
wise, we do things we can't do on the regular show.
You gain access.
oh,
Oh boy. So what was I saying? Something
Well, I
about
don't even know what we're talking about. We were admonishing CJ for playing too many.
yeah. You got to
service
get off
games.
some of these service games, man.
I'll try.
like-
I'll try.
It's like,
You
are you
won't.
playing the game? Timing.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm playing Last of Us. You should play some Last of Us.
I would like to.
I know a little. I
I'm
know
probably
a little
still
meter doesn't
further than
fill
you.
up
I'm probably
every
still
time you play it.
further than you in that. I'm at fall. Are you at fall yet?
No, I'm
Wow.
not at all yet.
Well, there you go. So
Wow,
I'm in no
someone's an
hurry.
asshole.
It feels like CJ specifically didn't put it on here
Yeah,
just to lure you into that
I know,
trap.
right?
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah.
I am. I'm in Lincoln at the moment.
Okay.
I'm thinking Lincoln. I just met. Well, I didn't just meet. I've met Bill, and we just got the truck.
I
got
see.
the truck. That's where
Yeah.
I'm at.
Okay.
So, how much farther ahead are you than I am?
Not much.
Okay.
But Phil, don't play any more of it so that I can, get a couple hours in this week. So
You don't control me, man.
no.
Goodness.
Oh, okay.
My
Sorry.
goodness. That's a good game.
It is a good game. Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a
fantastic
good game. We all know it's a good game, but I haven't played this game in a long time. It's a good game. I'm
Yep.
glad I'm replaying it. I am legit
It is a
enjoying
good
it again.
game.
That is
Yeah.
it's a good game. It's an emotional game. It is very good at environmental storytelling. So I'm having a blast reliving my adventure through these United States as Joel,
There you go.
as our grizzled old friend Joel. But that's it. That's what I've been playing.
I see.
What do you think about that?
Let us know in
I
the
like it.
comments below.
Like and subscribe.
Sure to
Ring the
smash that
bell
like button.
to be notified.
Be sure to follow us on Dig.
Dig.
Yeah, give us a couple digs, please.
Wow. Even I know that's old.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What have you been
I've
playing, CJ?
I've been playing Splatoon
Yeah, I heard.
3.
Yeah.
Enjoying that. Playing the salmon runs.
Good.
I like it. I mean, yeah, I've been playing a lot of Turf War as well. Tried playing some ranked matches, and they have 2 different ways to play ranked matches in this. You can do a series where you have to either win 5 games or it'll knock you out if you lose 3. And let's just say I've been losing 3 every single time I've ranked. It's just terrible. Yeah, like we just get rocked every single time. And I think you can stop your series and come back to it. And so I won 1 game of Splat Zones, and it's like, all right, I won 1. I'll come back to this later when Japan is asleep, because they're good. Or Japan has some real good Splatoon players, and they're all playing ranked. So yeah, we'll see if I ever get my 5 wins. But and then I played some of the ranked single match modes that they have, and didn't fare much better there. So I went back to Turf War, where I can at least win a couple, which is always nice. But yeah, love Splatoon, love it. I picked my team for the Splatfest. It's coming up, a week now,
What teams
maybe
you pick?
later this week. And the choices are: if stranded on a desert island, would you want to bring gear, grub, or fun? Are the choices.
I would bring Jeff Grubb.
Survival gear, food,
He seems
or
like you could talk to him
entertainment.
forever.
Yeah.
So I picked gear. I'm on team gear because you can use gear to get grub. Not Jeff Grubb. Food is what I mean. Sustenance. That's what I mean.
I don't know. He loves technology. So you might be
Does
able
love
to,
gear.
might be
That's true.
you could if you get a box with a stick propping it up and you put
You can trap a grub.
Box with a stick, probably.
you
Oh
need
my
merch from the
God.
woods.
Yeah.
Possible. But no, I'm team gear. So yeah.
Okay.
I got my Splatfest
Okay.
t-shirt.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they're giving out these things. They're like conch shells, and you can
Like in
use
Lord of the
those
Flies.
to play the little gumball gotcha machine that's in the lobby.
Oh.
So you
okay.
get those shells by winning games in Turf War, and then you can use that to get stuff. So
Oh.
I'm doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I also been playing. I played a little bit of Fortnite today. They started their new chapter or their new season today, and so the map is all different. And this battle pass, the final character is Spider-Gwen that you unlock. So last season was Darth Vader. This season is Spider-Gwen.
from the Spider-Verse movie.
From the Spider-Verse movie, yes.
Boy, oh boy, let me tell you. So they're doing that. They're doing the sequel, right? They're doing the Spider-Verse 2 movie, which I'm guessing was supposed to be out around this time originally, right?
Maybe.
I believe so, because all of a sudden you're seeing
Spider-Man
Fortnite?
appearance.
well, the characters just showing up in Fortnite, and if you go to like Target, all the Spider-Verse toys from the new movie are on the shelves now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So it seems like a whole lot of things were put into place, kind of counting on Spider-Verse 2, the movie, being released right around now, and unfortunately it got pushed back. But
I see.
product rollouts gotta roll out. So
That's true. That's true. Well, this season goes until like the end of November, so
okay.
maybe
I don't know
it's
when the
December.
movies due out nowadays.
But anyway, you can get Spider-Gwen if you unlock the 10th page of the Battle Pass.
Ooh,
Fortnite, which I might do. I don't know. We'll see.
that movie's
I did
not
it last.
until June of next year.
Okay.
So
Well, there you go.
yeah.
But I still love Fortnite. It's a great game. Anyway, playing zero build mode is awesome. Then I also
it was
played
originally supposed to be out in April.
Bear and
Wow.
Breakfast.
Yeah,
Here's the
Baron
game we've
Breakfast.
been waiting to hear about.
It is a twee game indeed,
Okay.
where you are a bear
Mm-hmm.
and you run a bed and breakfast, or
Okay.
actually multiple bed and breakfasts in the forest. And
So beds and breakfast or bed and breakfasts?
bed and breakfasts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that could be a good fighting game. Bed and breakfasts. I don't know how that would go.
CJ is putting up his dukes. He's making a little
Putting up my
motion with
dukes.
his hands of putting up his dukes. For all you
Yeah.
people listening to the audio podcast.
That's right. And I'm not holding up an original Xbox controller. That's not the putting up my dukes that you're talking about.
No. You're
Putting up my fists.
fisticuffs is what you're ready for.
Fisticuffs.
There you go. Do the little thing where you flick your nose with your thumb.
I
There
don't
you
want
go.
to do that. I don't want to do
That's
that.
how you get ready.
Nah.
Queensberry rules, old sport.
Anyway, Bear and Breakfast. So it's
Yeah.
out on the Switch now, and
Okay.
it's a cute little game. But man, the interface is all kinds of not built for a controller. It is clearly built for a PC mouse and keyboard.
Okay.
Because it has a lot of menu items that you have to press like 2 buttons down to get into. So you have to press the Y button to highlight the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to highlight the part of the menu that you want and press A again to drill into that, and then select what you want and come out of it. It's a whole thing. But there's like a tutorial window on the side that is giving you more information about what you need to be doing. And on the top of the tutorial window, it says like, press L and R to scroll through these.
Mm-hmm.
Except you can't actually do that unless you have pressed the Y button, highlighted over to the window that is showing the tutorial information, and then press L and R. So it's very much made for mouse and keyboard.
But the UI sounds like a real bear to deal with.
Sounds like
True.
a dog's breakfast.
True. But hey, it's a twee little bed and breakfast sim, and it seems all right.
Would you like it more if it was like a Newhart simulator?
I would actually. We'll see if the UI stuff gets to me too much. Then I might drop it. But
Phil, which one of us is Daryl and which one's the other brother Daryl?
Oh, I'm Larry. What are you talking about?
I don't think so.
I've always been Larry.
Wow. All right. So that's all we've been playing. We can finally get to tweets.
Oh, twiddle a diddle dee, twit, 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 twit,
CJ's got the-
twit. Gonna
CJ's got the
twiddle
Jimmy
with
arms.
the twiddle with the twiddle dee.
Alrighty.
For
Do
you
this
as he's
one
dancing
from
for me with the
Hacker
tweets.
alias Ryo Hazuki, who asked this in the chat earlier, so I'm going to bring it up now. POP crew, do you find yourself wanting the Steam Deck now?
Yes, but I don't want to pay full price for one. Every now and then, somebody will tweet something about the Steam Deck. Like, I really want one of those, and then I'll go look, and it's like, I don't want one that badly.
If someone were to give me one, I would happily take it. But realistically,
really
I know I would not play it nearly as much as I would like to think that I would.
Yeah, same.
And so,
But
yes,
it looks
but not
so
really.
cool.
I would like to use it for cloud gaming, which I am using the Steam Deck that I have for cloud gaming. It's a work Steam Deck, so I did not purchase it, but I am using it for cloud gaming in addition to other things. So yeah, I probably wouldn't buy one for myself though at this point. Maybe I might wait for version 2, or I'm really interested in the Logitech cloud gaming handheld that they have teased and that leaked a few weeks ago.
That's the thing for me. I feel like there's going to be alternatives on the market that will.
I mean, there already are
reasonably priced.
Though the alternatives are quite expensive.
That's what I'm saying. Waiting for it, but I feel like they'll go down in price before Steam Deck will, or something like that.
I don't know. The alternatives that are out there that are more expensive have drawbacks, especially in the battery department. But we'll see. Like I don't know if they can approach the price of the Steam Deck. It does seem like the Steam Deck has that advantage for now. But yeah, there are going to be enough competitors in that space that Valve's going to have to move quickly on a redesign, perhaps.
Did you ever consider Logitech being just meaning logical technology?
No,
that's a little weird,
never.
right?
What are we talking about?
Yeah, is that weird? I don't know.
It's strange.
Yeah, huh. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
Hey.
All right, hacker alias Mudron.
I know him.
I know him too.
That's Bill,
our friend Bill. He asked, "What were your childhood TV setups? TVs in your rooms, or were you forced to share the living room TV? Color or black and white? Beta or VHS?"
VHS.
Yeah, we were all VHS.
My parents weren't psychopaths.
All VHS here. Yeah. No beta.
Actually, one of my best friends growing up, though, they had a Betamax player.
Oh yeah,
and they had cable. The news, or not the movie network up here was called First Choice.
Okay,
I'm talking about like the 80s here,
right.
early 80s. And his dad would religiously record every single movie that played on that single movie channel. So they had a massive collection of movies on beta, and we would go up there. Like, they had all the Friday the 13th and like just everything. I'd go up there for sleepovers, and we just stay up and watch like all these films that we probably weren't allowed to watch, but
of course not.
Yeah, but yeah, they had a beta player. He was the only person I knew who had a Betamax.
Wow.
My cousin had a Betamax player, and he only had like music videos, like the Go-Go's in concert.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, back then, people probably, or people who aren't old like us, probably don't know that you weren't buying movies on video cassette in the early 80s. That wasn't a thing. You were renting them, but most people's cassette collection were things they'd recorded off television or on their camcorders.
It wasn't until the late 80s or maybe early 90s where like buying VHS tapes really
I want to say Batman was like the first real major release where you could buy it for like $20.
Yeah. And like the re-release of E.T.
Well, that kicked it off. that really
big,
kicked it
yeah.
off, and then
Yeah.
then it became a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
as far as our setup, when I was a kid, actually, I'm actually sitting in the place where our big floor model TV was when I was a kid.
Oh.
And that was the only TV in the house.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
when we got our NES, well, we had an Atari as well, but we didn't play it. I didn't play it religiously like I did the NES. But when we got an NES, it was when my dad said we could use the TV, or when he went to bed. We would wait for him to go to bed. Or if like we would get home from school before he got home from work, we get our paper routes done, and then we would play video games until he got home. So yeah, that was when I was a kid. That was how it was. I eventually, when I was in my mid-teens, I got a little color TV for my room.
Yeah,
and that's where video games were played after that. But yep,
yeah, we had pretty similar to yours, Greg. We had a big floor model TV, and by which I mean just a giant wooden box that sat on the
with a tube in
floor.
it. Yeah.
You know this.
They were beautiful, by the way.
Oh yeah,
TVs were furniture. That's when TVs were furniture.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
like kind
Just
of
like your stereo. It was the same thing.
but like kind of like the wood was kind of sculpted to look fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we had a TV in the living room. That's what the Atari was hooked up to. That's what our VCR was hooked up to. And yeah, you would play the Atari, and I played a ton of Atari back in the day. So I was, a lot of hours spent sitting on the floor,
because that's where you played video games.
4 feet in front of the television set. Yeah, playing that, and then when I started up junior high, that is when I convinced my parents to get me a computer under the
guys doing homework.
The very, very, very thinly stretched premise that I would be using it for school. So I got my Commodore 64, and the monitor for the Commodore that I got.
Ooh, that's a nice monitor.
My monitor was not an actual monitor. It was a small TV. It was a little Gold Star television that just had an AV jack on the back, which is how I had the Commodore hooked up to it. And it had a little TV video switch on the front of it. So I sort of inadvertently got my first TV in my room thanks to my Commodore. And yeah, it was a little like 13-inch color Gold Star TV, which I got in '86 because that's when I started junior high, and I didn't actually get my NES until '88. But once I
got
did,
mine pretty late too.
Yeah, that's where I beat Super Mario Brothers 2 on that little Gold Star TV, and then eventually, when I got, I think what happened was my parents had upgraded their TV at one point, and got, they got rid of the giant wooden one because it broke or something. So they ended up getting a, probably like a 20-inch TV or something like that, 20-inch TV. And then at one point they replaced that and got a bigger TV. So I inherited their old TV.
It went the other way in our house.
Oh, really?
Well, because the TV I finally got, and I'm thinking it was probably around the time that the Sega CD, so probably 92 is when I got a television.
Right.
The TV that I got, my dad's, the floor model TV, the family TV, broke down. There was something wrong with it. Like it was everything was purple on it.
Oh, okay.
And so my dad decided to de-gift my television.
Oh no.
This was like it was a fairly big TV. It was like
right.
21 inches, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not. That might be wrong. But anyway, put it on a little TV stand, and it sat in front of my floor model TV for probably about 6 months until my dad had the money to buy another TV. But,
Oh man.
Yeah,
then,
we.
go ahead.
No,
I was
please,
just going to say my when I first got my first job in when I turned 16, I think was when, or 15 or 16, when you could
17
start working legally in the States. I got my first job with the sole purpose of wanting to buy a VCR for my bedroom.
Nice.
So that I could tape my own TV shows, and if I wanted to watch and rewatch Simpsons episodes that I had taped, I could do that. So
I have a question.
Yes.
What year did you buy your VCR? Do you remember?
Well, let's see. If I was, let's say 15, it would have been probably 1990 or 91 when I
How
got
much did
my
it cost?
It was pricey. And I went with a good one. I went with the Sony.
Mm-hmm. Oh, then it would be
and I
pricey.
think I paid about $500 for it.
Oh my God.
Oh
Whoa.
yeah. No, I saved up my money from the.
That's like I brought up the inflation calculator just because I was curious. That's the equivalent of like $1,100 today.
Holy cow! I mean, I was dedicated. I desperately wanted a VCR in my bedroom.
The reason I was asking is just because we all, I think nowadays think that VCRs, they did get very cheap near the end.
Oh yeah,
but man, when they were the thing, they weren't cheap. I felt that I was the same way with my first DVD player. I spent $800 on my first DVD player.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
probably about what I spent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably spent $500 or $600.
Yeah. But what about you, CJ?
Well, we had one of those big wooden TVs in the living room, and then we inherited a color TV from my grandma, who that TV went upstairs.
Okay.
So that was like a secondary place that we could hook up the NES in my parents' room.
Yeah.
So I think with the Super Nintendo, I hooked that up in my parents' room and played on the floor, on the carpet in my parents' room. And we also had like a tiny, like a 13-inch black and white TV that was in our basement.
Yeah.
Nice.
That I watched Saturday Night Live on. It was too late. It only had an antenna. It was not hooked up to the cable, so it could only get the broadcast channels on it. But it was only later that I got my own TV in my room, and that was again like a 13-inch or so, maybe a little bigger TV that then I could play consoles on in my room. And I don't know if you remember this, but in the early 90s, EGM there was a question about like how do you get screenshots so good or whatever, like what do you use? And
the cardboard cone, wasn't it?
Well, the cardboard cone was for not E3, CES and shows. But they also had like an RGB screen capture box.
Oh, okay.
That the cables for which they purchased from a company, and they actually set it in the letters section.
Yes.
Which of course was somewhere in Chicago.
I don't think so.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I don't think it was.
Assume that because you guys.
My buddy Jim got a hold of that company from the mention of them in EGM, and he ended up getting the RGB Genesis cables. And
I did the same.
It looked beautiful.
The famous screenshot comparison of Batman, the "Don't Walk" sign in Batman.
Oh yeah,
that was what they always used to show that off, because you could see the detail of the "Don't Walk" sign.
Yeah,
that's right.
In RGB.
That's right. But so I had an Apple IIgs. Well, that was the computer we had when I was growing up. We had a 2GS, and the monitor for the 2GS could accept an RGB signal.
This is the exact same setup that Jim had, because he also had the 2GS.
I'm sure. So I got the cable from that company. It was like Redmond Cable, I think is
that's it. Yes, that's I remember exactly
what name. It was.
Yep, Redmond Cable.
Redmond Cable. I don't know if they're in Redmond, Washington. That would make sense. But so then I would play Genesis games on the Apple IIgs monitor.
Oh man,
and what a difference! Because bringing out my favorite game, Quackshot, for instance, you play it on the TV, you only see like a bit of detail. Playing it on the monitor, like there were those cave levels that had like torches on the wall,
Yeah.
and the torches actually are a flaming skull, but you couldn't tell that it was a skull on a TV. You could tell that it was a skull when hooked up to the RGB monitor. So that was just a great experience, because then I played Night Trap in full glory on the RGB monitor, and all the Sonic games, Toe Jam and Earl, just a lot of games on that RGB monitor.
Does
It was
Random
fantastic.
Eagles still exist?
Maybe.
I just looked them up. I found their Facebook page. It is them because I remember their
The logo.
they have like a little mascot, like a little like wire-headed mascot,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and they are indeed in Redmond, Washington here.
Okay.
The
Sounds
last
like a road
Yeah.
trip.
the last
Trip.
the last
I had to call
yeah
to order that cable.
the last image they put on their Facebook page is from 2016, but it is a photo of their office.
Oh, interesting.
So they
Okay.
at least existed
Back in
2016, but
Oh, that's amazing.
they might still exist.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
I ended up
goodness.
buying like a Laserdisc player for my bedroom,
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me this.
and for the 13-inch television. So here I had a Laserdisc player and ran
Oh my
like Super
God.
Cop and Wayne's World and The Mask, all the titles that came free with the purchase of
Oh.
the Pioneer Laserdisc player. And I was in heaven, even though it was a 13-inch TV. Like, yeah, it was great. Anyway, that was my setup.
fantastic.
Yeah. All right, let's do this one real quick.
Okay.
Macroelius Swim Odin, who says, let's say you three could start a game magazine in 2022 that would pay a livable wage. This way you know it's fantasy.
Yeah, it was
You
20
couldn't
years
even
ago.
do that when magazines were a thing.
Yeah. But you'd have the same crunch / deadline of the old days. Would you do it?
No.
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 You know what?
Yeah.
I would do it, but not in today's game industry, not in
Well,
today's
there you
climate.
Hmm.
Well, what is it?
That's
this
the
week
thing
we
that
didn't-
doesn't entice me here.
We didn't talk about it, but there were layoffs at G4, Future,
Yeah.
which is like Android
Yeah.
Central, Windows Central, and Fanbyte as well, including Imran Khan was laid off while he was in Japan for TGS,
Ooh.
which
That's a little
sucks.
weird.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But yeah, so I don't think so. I don't think I would.
No. I mean, no.
I mean, I don't regret the time that I spent
oh, neither do
working
I.
in the late 90s,
No.
early 2000s on video game magazines. I thought it was fantastic, but I was in a different place.
You weren't married, you didn't have children.
At that point.
Kind of a
Didn't have Sea of Thieves that was really
Jesus Christ.
taking up a lot of my time. Fortnite
but-
seasons. I mean, come on.
The crunch side of things would be tough nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm, in all seriousness with I mean, I remember when I went into game development, because when we were all there as if Davis at the same time anyway, there weren't a ton of us who were married.
No.
No.
So, there was that, because, you do have to spend time with your spouse.
Yeah.
And then of course having children, it just ups the ante a little bit more. So that would be rough. But for me, the biggest turnoff is the game industry is so huge right now. It's so much bigger than it was 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I do not know how these people effectively cover, especially live service games, even games that aren't live service, because what's released isn't what the public is playing within 2 weeks most of the time.
Yeah.
Right. And when
Yeah.
you consider that we were dealing with lead times of a month or more, it just, I loved the experience of it, but I wouldn't want to be covering the same industry today.
No.
Even all things being equal,
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to be covering the same industry today.
Same.
Yeah.
I like doing
I
this because
agree.
we don't feel responsible to know anything. So
Exactly. We're not even covering everything that was in the State of Player Direct. So I'm only mentioning like the things that are of interest to me, and you guys didn't even watch them. So.
I watched them.
Okay, Phil watched them.
Mad. I watched them.
Yeah. Greg did.
I like paying attention to the stuff I'm interested in, and not having to pretend that I'm interested in things I'm not. At this point,
I agree with that.
All I know is I'm looking at Google Maps and I know exactly where Redmond Cable is supposedly at, and it ain't that far away. So I'm like,
let's drive over.
Honey, we're going on a road trip.
Have any Genesis RGB cables?
Seriously.
I hope that you walk in and that's all they have.
Still living off that one mention in EGM in 1990.
Oh my.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff. You'll also find Generation 16 episodes as they happen. The 1990 wrap-up is available for your viewing pleasure right now.
That it is.
Yes, indeed. You'll also find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode, and a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions, all over the danged place. Just follow our little Twitter account, which is just @P1 Podcast, to find out when we are doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday nights at 5:30 Pacific time, so join us, oh won't you? And I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you? You can head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. CJ has gotten himself wrapped up in a whole lot of live service games, and he's got season passes to buy out the wazoo. And also, I'm going to be in the market for a Apple II GS monitor pretty soon from the list of things. So, dig deep, friends. I kid, of course.
Yeah.
What we're actually using the money for is to pay for the surgery that I'm going to need after spreading over the back of the chair.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't know what it is, but he pulled something.
Things have not yet realigned, and I am beginning to fear that they shan't. So, no, it keeps the things streaming and all those podcast expenses that CJ worries about. So,
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, we're not just taking your money, we're giving back. Because if you are a Patreon friend of the $5 tier,
cheap,
you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode that we record right after this, where we play games, crack wise, having fun, all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ,
yeah,
do we have a game this week?
Well, Phil, let me tell you, we do.
Oh, the arms are back.
Game. Yeah, it's EGM review quiz from September 1997.
Oh dear. 97. So, okay.
Get ready for that.
Well, please look forward.
Yeah.
To that. What else? What else do we got? Oh, if you have a couple bucks left over, why don't you head over to patreon.com/Greg Seward? Greg Seward, right? It's the whole name, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the last name. It's patreon.com/Greg Seward.
That's correct.
Yep.
That is correct.
I just went to the website.
Yeah.
It feels like something I should know, but yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Remember, it's not Stewart.
Nope.
It's Seward.
That's right.
Some guy is going to start up a Patreon under the name Greg Stewart and steal all your money, Greg.
Yeah. Could be.
from well-meaning people who want to help support your outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis. So
Thank you, Phil.
please go to Greg Seward with no T except at the end.
Okay.
And help support that outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And if you are a supporter of the $5 variety,
Also cheap.
you get access to the Weekly Commute, which is a vlog series where I talk about all the different content I'm creating, as well as other fun stuff. Actually, this week, it wasn't on the Weekly Commute, but this past week, I've been streaming the Lego 2600 build, which was a good time. But no, mainly the other thing that's happening on that series right now is that I'm going through my different memories, going through my game collection, going down memory lane. And a lot of it's related to my time at Ziff Davis or during game development, but sometimes a little bit older than that. Was actually talking about Batman on the NES this last week. So please consider supporting. And thank you so much for those of you who do.
Very nice.
There you go.
And well, gosh, I guess that's it, folks. Right? We're done. CJ,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Phil.
I don't know how sustainable this bit is going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep it going.
I don't feel like it's been. Yeah.
I'm not saying stop. I'm saying let's keep it going. But yeah, Jazz Hands CJ. I like this new character. CJ's got two characters now. He's got Anime Prospector and he's got Jazz Hands.
Right.
Okay. What would it sound like if those two met, CJ?
Oh,
How do you think that would go?
I think it would go.
I think it would sound the same.
Like this. I'm gonna go watch me some Project A-ko.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Although I like how you took the premise of what would it be like if those two met.
And you
instead
just
of having
added
them
Jimmy
meet-
Arms to Anime Prospector.
Yeah, what if what if they had a kid, I guess? Anime Prospector and Jazz Hands had a baby, and a kid loves waving its arms around and watching
Oh my
Project
God.
A-ko.
That's right.
All-purpose Nuku cat girl. Anyway, Gregory,
Yo.
what's your favorite 80s anime to reference for comedic effect?
Urarasaki
Dirty Bear.
Doji.
Of course.
Well,
Why wouldn't it be?
the Doge.
Is that what Dogecoin is? Why didn't I invest?
Oh, I think we know why you didn't invest.
I could be rich. Rich and horny.
At least you're halfway there.
Half rich and only slightly aroused. Gregory, thank you.
Thank you, Philip.
Oh, of course. And of course, a big old thank you to you, our wonderful, wonderful listeners. Every single one of you. Remember, as always, take care of yourself, your loved ones, your friends, your family. Do what you gotta do to be safe. And we hope to see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy trails to you.